Mr. President, Madam Vice President, distinguished guests, Elizabeth, Robin, I'm honored. I've always thought that life has no blessing like that of a good friend. And to know Bob was to know the truth of that statement. Bob's friendship was a blessing that enriched my life beyond measure. His dedication to public service, his determination to keep Washington and Congress places of civility, and his kindness to Linda and me made our friendship a blessing as rich as life offers. When I arrived in the Senate in 1987, Bob was literally one of the very first people to reach out. We served on the Finance and Agriculture committees together. And almost from the beginning, we seemed to have similar views on agriculture, nutrition, many other issues. Bob faced the world, both its cruelties and its kindness, with humility, with humanity, and of course, with humor. I remember my very first appearance with Bob after we were both elected leaders in 1994. It was at a reception where he noted that my election was received with great enthusiasm in farm country, because for the first time you had two Senate leaders from farm states. He said every farmer in America that very week ordered a new tractor. And Bob set the bar for me, and I suspect many others. When he'd share that story about when he first came to Congress, a reporter asked what his agenda was going to be. He said, I'm going to sit and watch for just a couple of days, and then I'm going to stand up and do what's right. And that's exactly what he did. As the president noted, he stood up for minorities early in his career when he broke party ranks and voted for the landmark Civil Rights and Voting Rights Acts. He stood up for the elderly when he worked with Pat Moynihan, literally to save Social Security. He stood up for the young when he worked with my fellow South Dakotan George McGovern on nutrition assistance. And he stood up for the disabled when he worked with Ted Kennedy and Tom Harkin on the Americans with Disabilities Act. And boy, did he stand up for his fellow veterans, as Pat just noted. As the chairman of the World War II Memorial Campaign, I know from many conversations how important that accomplishment was. He even remarked to me once, thought about being buried there. Well, that may not be his final resting place. I think of Bob every single time I visit. Of course, these are all the things that made Bob Dole great. But as Bill Rogers once put it in one of Bob's favorite sayings, it's great to be great, but it's far greater to be human. Almost everyone has heard the Bob Dole stories of amazing heroics and his recovery from injury in World War II. But few know the Bob Dole who called a Florida dentist in 1993 to encourage him after losing his right arm and help him find a specialist to get a prosthetic arm. And few people know the story about Bob Dole and the detour he took in his presidential campaign in 1996. He was in Indianapolis, and he left the campaign for a few hours to attend a graduation party for a young girl who'd become paralyzed because of a car accident. Or, as Pat already noted, the Bob Dole who waited at those airport gates for honor flights to greet veterans with a salute and a thank you. He touched many people through his small acts of kindness, including me. He taught me a lot when I became Senate leader, but the teaching didn't end when I left the Senate. When I lost my election in 2004, once again, Bob was one of the very first to offer me his guidance and his support. He helped me find a speaker's bureau. He encouraged me to join him at his law firm. It's a decision I never regretted, in part because it gave me the opportunity to spend a lot more time with him. I can't help but think of the first time I said farewell to Bob. It was when he left the Senate in 1996. I remember he quoted a poem by Carl Sandburg in his final speech on the Senate floor. I tell you, the past is a bucket of ashes. I tell you, yesterday is a wind gone down. A sun dropped in the west. I tell you, there is nothing in the world, only an ocean of tomorrows, a sky of tomorrows. Bob didn't always have an easy life. He faced some hard yesterdays, physical, political, personal losses. But for all he did lose, he never lost himself. He never lost his sense of humor. He never lost his sense of integrity. He never lost his love for his hometown of Russell, Kansas, or his deep, deep love for Elizabeth and Robin. And he never lost his hope for tomorrow. His life was a testament to Will Rogers' truth that the things that make us human, the laughs we share, the burdens we bear, can make us great.